What was the purpose of Thor to come down here other than to check on us? He brought not only the wealth of the universe, but he brought peace. New medical procedures that man is just now starting to learn. Energy sources that man still hasn't got. He never will get. Transportation modes used in a peaceful method. And my father met with many world leaders in 1958 in Bimini. He had the prime ministers from Russia, England, Germany, Japan, South America, Canada. I mean, they met individually down there or in small groups. And these world leaders didn't know the full extent who they were meeting or who they were seeing. To make a long story short, my father brought everything that man could ever dream of here to bring this world, known in the ancient days as the Garden of Eden, the sacred garden of the sacred children. The Soviet Union was all for it. Nikita Khrushchev, yeah, I am for this. Unfortunately, greedy people within the United States government and certain Western ally powers, and especially the Vatican, didn't have much say-so on the matter. And it was actually turned down. I find that quite disturbing. Quite disturbing. Because the only thing our Father was asking in return, lay down your weapons of mass destruction. Start working as one people. For the kingdom of God is at your fingertips if you want it. How bad do you want it? And all these things will be brought to you, and our people will assist you in learning. The universe is at your disposal to travel. I didn't send 33 of my children down here to just be a bunch of snotty-nosed brats and raise Cain. They're here for a purpose. Every one of them has a purpose. And yes, there's a couple in there that could be quite ugly kids if they want to be. But they've been raised and bred to not do these things unless forced. Remember the letter said possibly one or two could be the Abadonius beings? Well, we come to find out the Catholic Church knew who the Abadonius being was. I'll leave that for you to ponder. I just have so much heartache when I tell this story, because I look and see what could have been and what is now. Hey, I don't have to sit here and show it to you. I don't have to sit here and point it out. This group of people are terrible. They need all to be die. These people are suffering over here because of this group of people. Yet, who's in charge? Well, we look again, and there's the Catholic Church right in the middle of it all. I've always said man is the problem. Man is his own worst enemy. I have been brought forth to tell this story. I've been here for 65 years now, born under some very strange circumstances, maybe to people that don't understand it, but people like me and my brothers and sisters and our Father, they actually do understand it. But my father was here exactly 3 years to the second, because he would depart on March 13th, 1960. He had already talked to John F. Kennedy before Kennedy even got elected as president. Eisenhower and Truman and Senator Kennedy were already meeting each other privately at Camp David, discussing this. Eisenhower didn't know what to do, and Truman was too scared to do anything. Of course, Truman had a saying I like: the buck stops here. Unfortunately, the rest of the people didn't get your memo there, Mr. Truman. But to think that a U.S. president would lose his life over giving the news and the message that our father brought. We didn't put a timestamp on it. Well, we've got to know within the next 3 years or it's over with. This is not make a deal, make a wish, or whatever. This was an ever-binding promise that one way or another, man is going to eventually destroy his own self. We've came pretty close to that. And just to think, I live here in this world just like the rest of you. John F. Kennedy had found out a lot of things he had to prove. And Kennedy, of March 13th, 1964, he was going to address the United Nations. Well, you guys know the rest of the story of that. I saw it coming before it happened, and I warned them. But they didn't listen. And I saw it again, and I warned them. Oh, it's a childhood's dream. Don't pay no attention to it. And I saw it this time in living color and vivid, as if I was sitting in that car myself. And I heard the 5 shots, not 3, 5. I smelt the cordite. I heard the crack of his head. I felt the spray of his blood. And I saw the heartbreak and shock in an innocent woman that was sitting less than 3 feet from him. He would never get to tell the world about not just us, 33 little snotty-nosed kids, but what our father had brought to this world. And I've asked people over the years, they've asked me, you say you was in that backyard that morning when Thor arrived? Sure was. I sat on his lap. I talked to my father. Wow. Well, did he go back to Venus? Where do they get this stuff? Venus? Venus? Who said Venus? Well, maybe somebody that wrote a book called Stranger in the Pentagon. Did he get it wrong? I don't know. I never knew the man. And I'm not going to name names. I promised people I would not name names. Was he in the Pentagon to start with? Knowing the things that I know about the government, especially the White House, the Pentagon, Congress, the CIA headquarters, you just don't waltz into the Pentagon unless you have already got an appointment. You are brought into a holding room after your search, make sure you're not carrying any weapons, bombs, or whatever, and you wait until your appropriate party that you're there for business comes get you. And normally, let's say you're there to visit a general, he'll send one of his lieutenants or his admin personnel to go retrieve you and bring you personally to wherever you're directed. You carry a little card. You just don't walk through the gate and say, I can't believe it. The guards didn't see me, and I walked right into this room, and there stood Valiant Thor. I've been expecting you. I'll leave it at that. No. That protocol back in 1957 is not much difference today. The only difference is that you've got to walk through metal detectors, and then you're searched, and then you're taken into what they call a waiting room, and you might be there 10 minutes, you might be there an hour and 10 minutes. But if you're there on official business, you wait in this waiting room, and there's several there around the various lobbies. And if it's going into highly secured areas, guess what? You are escorted there by military police. That protocol has not changed much today. Before our father left, we all met in Sandicia, New Mexico on March 10th, 1960. And we got to play. The kids played games. We sang songs. We drew pictures. And we got to sit and climb on our father, and he'd tell us stories. And we'd sing songs. And Anna Mia was so happy. And she was going around talking to the various families. And Elder Don, he's there writing notes. But he talked to people. Don't think Elder Don was a cold-hearted person, because he wasn't. He was there to take notes and observe how good are these kids becoming. And watching the twins and myself very intently. Now that day, they were getting ready to go. It's a little hard to talk about it. I love my father. But he talked to every one of us, kissed us and hugged us, and he called me up. This time I called by myself, Abil, and I came up and he hugged me and he says, I've had a wonderful time watching you. He said, I've also had a very brilliant conversation with your host family. Now we're talking in their dialect, not the Palladian dialect. And he says, remember what I told you, son. You control your temper and observe. You're going to grow into a mighty, mighty man. And as you get wiser, and what he meant by wiser, as I get older, you will realize you're able to do things that other people can't do. Use it wisely. It is a gift. Listen and learn as much as you can. And he said, son, I love you. You always remember this. I love you. And I will be watching on you. I will send people to check on you. And I was so, to be in someone's presence like Thor. To be in the presence of someone that is looked at by the world as God. To be held by that individual, to know that I came from his seed. I am a product of his genetics. His blood rolls right through my veins. It is a very soothing, rewarding, and an everlasting feeling that no one can ever take away from me. My brothers and sisters will tell you the same thing. And that would be the last I would see of my father for a while. But these things you never forget. You never lose them. And you always know that he is there with you. And yes, I have seen my father several times. The last time I saw him was November 24th, 2014, right here in Lafayette, Tennessee. My father's coming back very, very soon. I've told you people, we know the year, we know the season. The only thing we don't know, and of course this is the Bible, a factual thing in the Bible, no man knows the day or the hour. We don't. I don't know the day nor the hour, but I do know the year. And I do know the season. And for those who, don't read the Bible that much, they don't study the things in the Bible that much, I'll give you a very quick, because it is in the Bible, it's through the what is known as the Hermetic Ashkelon Code. Everything within prophecy comes in threes. We had three Babylons, Nimrod, Nebuchadnezzar, and yes, I call America the third and the final Babylon. Okay. There was 3 Israels. Most people don't know the 3 Israels. They can't even name them. They think Israel is the country Israel, which it is not. Israel, remember I told you, means people. It doesn't say Jewish. It says people. For we are the chosen people. Okay? It didn't say the Jews are the only chosen people. The rest of y'all are the hell with you. You're going to burn in hell. That's a lot of thinking today. 3 Israels. Jacob, King David, and she came upon her land as a nation when Israel first declared its independence and became a nation in the Middle East, Judea, which was May 5th, 1948. Well, now, if we go to the Bible, it is in the Bible. And let's turn right over here. And I'll give it to you, people. If you don't understand this, I'll give it to you. It's actually Psalms 90. Psalms 90. See it right there? Yeah, come on. This Bible's old like me. See, I have it marked. See there? I got it marked. Right there. So, let me give you a little Bible lesson 101. Our Father gave this to the people to know. Mainly His children. And it says, you turn men back to dust, and saying, you return to dust, O sons of men. For 1,000 years in your sight is just like a day that has gone by. And it's like a watchman in the night. When we go down here to verse 8. Remember, this is Psalms 90. It says, you have set our iniquities before us, and the secret sins of the light of the presence, and our days have passed away under your wrath. We will finish our years with a moan. Could be talking about Revelations, the temptations, the woes of man. Well, the length of our days is 70 years or 80. If we have the strength, but we are troubled and we are sorrowful, for they quickly pass away and we all fly away. So let's go back. 70 years or 80 years. Does it say divide, multiply, use calculus, trigonometry, maybe some type of physics? Remember my physics? Huh? Prove everything. But let me explain something. What did our Father, you call Him God, we call Him Jabba, or Offer Anum, which is a titlement, by the way. What did He do on the 7th day? Genesis says He rested. So He's not resting here because could it be our 70 years or 80 years? For we all pass with a moan. It's got to be 80, right? Sure it is. You know it is. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So if we take them 80 years and add it to 1948, the third and the final Israel, well, what year do we come up to with people? Break out your calculators. Do it, do it, do it. And there's a few of you that probably already know it. It is 2028. Well, that's fine and dandy. Eddie, Abil, Abaddon. Shall we just call you Eddie? Doesn't matter what you call me. But how can I prove this? My disciplines go way beyond it most could understand. But hold that thought, and I'll show it to you. Oh, I should have had this already out, but I don't have it out. Oh, let's pull this book out of here. Come here, damn it. There we go. Ah. Asteroids, dinosaurs. Well, had a lot of things over the years. UFO records, here's stuff here from people that wanted to talk to me. How do you know this stuff? Is this stuff real? Well, it is real because I'm not going to show it to you if I can't back it up. But we will come up and Let's pull all this over here. Oh, let's look here, people. Here we go. Can we see that an asteroid possibly could hit Earth in 2028? The return promise of 2028, the Sabbath year. Matthew 24, 15 through 22. See that? And when did this come out? This article was in USA Today. It came out on July 3rd, 1999. But it's not an asteroid. I know some of y'all have already seen some of the stuff that's on Project Aquarius, our Facebook page, where I mentioned that we had a mothership now arrive. It's been filmed, and I've got all the astrophysicists, the astronomers. How do you know this? Where's your proof? Where's your proof? Well, there's pictures on there. I've got people sending me pictures now. Can you explain this? Yeah. Well, just about a week ago, I announced it was going to happen. Actually, somebody called me and said, "Did you know about a second craft that has just arrived?" Yeah. Didn't know what time. I knew it arrived, though. Now, we have 2 motherships now. And there's going to be another 31 that will arrive before 2028. But in the meantime, like all children that are belligerent toward the father or their mother, it's timeout time. And during that timeout time, most people will pitch a fit. Oh, I want to do this. I don't want to do this, but he's making me do this. It's for your betterment. And it's for your enlightenment. Because, well, if we wasn't here, who could say we were loving parents? We were loving offsprings. If you'll notice this stuff I've got right here. See, I've got it all color-coded. This is talking about an asteroid called XF11. It's going to hit Earth in 2028. The likelihood is higher than anything that's out there. Well, is anybody listening? I hope so, because this might save your life. But during them time periods when all this was coming about, a late friend of mine, Mr. Carl Sagan, wrote me a letter in 2007. There's the letter. There's the signature, Carl Sagan. I won't read the whole letter, but he wanted me to come to Washington, D.C. to the Pentagon, since he was advising him on this XF11 asteroid. And how did I know this so well? Where did I get my information? We're going to fly you to Washington, put you in a hotel, feed you, and we'll make it worth your time. And I didn't go. Why should I? You didn't listen when I was with the agency. Why will you listen now? So it all boiled down to this. Man's going to learn a very valuable lesson in understanding and concernment. And are we wicked people? No. Are we evil people? No, absolutely. But there is an evil in this world. And it didn't take me to tell you that. Most of you already know it. So the very word of Abil Abaddonus, me being Abaddon, my father calls me Abaddon the Destroyer. I'm not the only one here. How about my brother Daniel? After all, he was looked upon as a curse in the olden days. But we are here to protect humanity. As in the days of Noah, Matthew 24, 32 through 38, 39. You ought to read it. See what they were doing before the flood came. What caused the flood. And you know what? Just the other day, I had a beautiful, wonderful message, notification that came to my private Facebook People know, I mean, Michael Wolf. That's me. Me. From a Hindu priest. He asked me a bunch of questions. And they're on there. Go look. Go look. And them questions were also asked on the Project Aquarius Facebook site. You can go look. Look them up. Rajazada, I believe was his name. Let me see right here. I got it written down. Rudis Das from India. Up in the sacred portion of India called Pakshur. A Hindu priest. And you ought to read my reply to him. How did a man know this so much with detail? And how come the majority of UFO sightings are happening in America, not in Asia? Well, like I told him, this country's been judged. Judgment will come. And if you remember, I told you the great dragon is awake. And it was I who opened that sixth seal in 2010, 2011 at midnight. And things happened. I wrote them down as they happened, and they're still happening. We're watching Yellowstone. That is the great dragon. And when that dragon arises up, it's not going to spare too many people. Can I stop it? No. Can my father stop it? No. My father won't stop it. But there's a time coming very soon that none of you will be able to hear what I've got to say. Because there's going to be a time very close in the near future that I will go and stand before my Father, simply because I am the Abaddonius being that they talked about. I have 1 hour to plead humanity's case. What shall I say on your behalf? Some are worthy, some, you know what you've done. And I like to think about what my brother, Joshua, Daniel, Uriel, one and the same. It's never told in the Bible, is it? It's surely told in the book of Enoch. And the Dead Sea Scrolls. Oh yeah, it's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I forgot to tell about that. But Daniel said one time, many hundreds of years ago, I didn't come to pass judgment, for there's somebody else that will do that. But those who have never heard my words, verily I say, for those who have hear my words and take it to heart and trust and believe and within their faith and understanding and the love, shall inherit what? The kingdom of God. So if you think about this, if you know the big dragon's getting ready to act really stupid, we can't say when he's going to act stupid, we just know he's going to. And it's going to be a very deadly stupidity on his part. But it's going to be even a worse stupidity on humans' part. Because they did hear their word. They did know. And they did have a chance. But they refused the grace and the love that we brought here. It's those who are sitting in the 30,000 square yards mansions, begging people to buy them a $54 million Lear jet, fleecing of the flock, raping of the innocent. I have no patience for them people, and neither does my father. I want to thank everybody for the very beautiful and kind words you've sent to me and the love that you've showed to each other. Share this knowledge. Talk among yourselves and prepare. And know that the times are approaching. I am not saying this to hear my gums rattle. Life is precious. And where I come from, we cherish life. Even the smallest of all of them. May you be blessed. And may the knowledge sink deep into your soul. May it prick your heart to say, what can I do today for my Father? What can I do? What can you do today? I am Abil Abadanias. I am the Emidiraki Metelizek order. And I didn't say this just to hear myself rattle again. Let it prick your heart. Go help somebody. Prepare them. Tell your next neighbor. Help somebody that's probably less fortunate than you. What can you do with the person that's next to you? So the next time you look in the mirror, see what's looking back. See that child that's looking back. Because although I know where I came from, you come from the very same blood genes also. I hope to see you before I leave. I've got much more I want to share. And I have people from the NSA that wants to see me very soon too. They're awfully worried, I think, because I had a nice phone call today with one of them. They seem to be a little worried. I don't know why you're worried unless, well, maybe you've got caught up in all this bullcrap called... Oh, I'll just save that. You know what I'm talking about. I almost said a wordy dirt. Sorry. Anyway, God bless you. My Father sends His love, His best. My brothers and sisters send their love and their best. And we are here. We're not going nowhere. Because when I do leave for that 1 hour meeting, I will be returning. And then I think I'll go set the dragon free. Time is ticking away. Love you people. Godspeed. Thank you.